All right, welcome back to Getting Sober, Again, my name is Jay, and today we're going to answer a big question, which is when are the cravings going to go away, right? That's something that plagues us, especially in the beginning. In the first couple of days, we can definitely feel like or think that these are never going to go away. I can't accomplish this. This is ridiculous. I can't possibly. I keep thinking about it. I keep wanting to do it. I keep wanting to go back into the motions. I want to go back and have fun with my drinking friends. And isn't it funny though that speaking of drinking friends, that we call them drinking buddies, right? But then, that's the case for me. But that was like my dad used to call his friends his drinking buddies, and then other people would call their friends their drinking buddies. And I think about like my real friends, my close friends, who I may drink with, but then I have like my drinking buddies. Those are the people that are at the bar every night, right? The regulars that are at the bar, the people all I ever do with them is just drink. Those are my drinking buddies, right? So the big question is, when are the cravings going to go away? And do me a favor first, if you haven't yet, hit the subscribe button, and you might as well go ahead and hit the like button while you're at it, because alcoholism creates brain damage. And I don't know about you, but I think I got a little bit. So here's your friendly reminder. If you could do both, that'd be great. So the cravings, when will they go away? For me personally, everybody's going to be different, right? So your journey might be a little bit longer, it might be a little bit shorter. Comment below. But for me, I noticed that I had gone a little while without having a craving. And that's kind of ideal, right? So like in the beginning, you're just like, has it happened yet? Has it happened yet? Do I still have Oh, yeah, I still have one. All right, how about, and then like the next day you're like, nope, yeah, I had another one, it's still there. Cause you're still thinking about it. You're still thinking about, just like at the beginning of like weight loss or whatever, you're like, oh, am I skinnier yet? You're like looking in the mirror. You have to go to the gym, like you look and you're just like, oh, I don't know. I think I see some difference, and then it's not until really like, you're squeezing you squeeze yourself into the next notch of the belt, So we're looking for these signs, for these milestones. And for me, the real quick answer, but I'm going to give you more milestones about alcoholism, is mine was about 2 months. And so that doesn't mean stop the video. I'm going to say some more stuff. But for me, the 2-month mark was when I noticed, when I made that, if you go back and look at my other video, I say like, oh, I've been like sober for 2 months or 2 months of sobriety or whatever the thumbnail says. At that point, I had already noticed that it had been a while. It had been days, maybe. It might have been weeks since I had like a severe craving for alcohol. And so like when I say severe craving for alcohol, sorry, I have a cat and his hair is all over my face. We were just cuddling a little bit. But so like in the beginning, it was, okay, well, I can't do this anymore. So you have to like make these drastic changes. So like it's not that I couldn't go to the bar. I actually kept going to the bar, and then I was getting like non-alcoholic drinks. And I didn't cheat at all. I didn't have like a little sip of something. I didn't have like a teeny little bit of tequila. I just did the non-alcoholic beers. But in the beginning, it was kind of like, I'm like looking at other people's drinks. I'm looking at, and then like some of my buddies, they'll bring a flask into the bar. And cause whatever, we're cheap. And these are like older guys, older men, very old men. They would bring a flask in, and I had to keep saying like no a bunch of times, which is going to be very important for you. And I actually have a challenge coming up in a future video. It's called the 100 No's challenge, and I'll talk maybe a little bit more about that in this video too. But I had to say no, and because they drink all the time, and I had already told them that I don't drink, including the gentleman who gave me the pamphlet. In the last episode, I talked about the guy that gave me the pamphlet. He brings in his own moonshine. So he gave me the Christian pamphlet about happy hour, about like the guy who drinks too much and he doesn't come home to his family ever. He ends up like dying or whatever. And he would bring his own moonshine. He doesn't drink a lot, but like he would offer me some. And then like the other old Irish dude, he'd like always bring in his whiskey. and he'd say like, hey Jay, I've got my flask is in my pocket, you know, if you want to help yourself. And I'd be like, oh no, I'm still not drinking. They're like, oh, okay. And then like, you know, I come back like a week later and come play pool, and they're like, oh, you know, my flask's in my pocket if you want. I'm like, no, I'm still not drinking. Like, oh yeah, that's right, I forgot. And then so that's one of the embarrassing things about drinking, isn't it? It's like you forget shit. And I feel like I've always been pretty bad at names. I don't know if something happened to me when I was a kid and that I'm just like traumatized about messing somebody's name up, but like I'm really bad at remembering names. Yeah, I know where everything I own is. Like ask me where something I own is, I'll tell you where it is and what's next to it. But people's names, forget about it. So that's, you know, part of the brain damage I think with alcohol is like our brains, we forget stuff. We forget names, places, dates. Some of my friends even knew like I'll tell my friend, like, yeah, I don't, tell me about it. Did we have a good time? I don't remember. Like, I'd have to ask my friends, like, you know, tell, like, what happened? I don't know. They're like, no, I don't remember being there. What happened? And it's embarrassing because I was drinking during everything. Like, you want to go canoeing? No, now it's cabrewing, right? You want to go to the beach? Well, now it's a beach with a cooler, right? You know, full of booze. You know, you want to go to the club? Booze. You want to go dancing? Booze. You want to go just to the, you know, do whatever. Everything's booze. There's booze everywhere. You know, like you want to take your kids to the arcade, there's a bar. You know, you go to movie theaters, now in the last couple of years, there's a bar. You go to the grocery store, there's booze, obviously. Some of the stores have it like, so like one of the stores I go to, one of the grocery stores here, it's like the first thing you walk through is a gauntlet of alcohol. It's just like, oh my God. But that was in the beginning, the first like week or so, it was like tough. Like those things would be triggers. So one of the I like to call it more of like the craving, the triggers or the cravings, those go away. They went away for me for about, in the first 2 months, about 2 months. But speaking of brain damage though, it takes your body, they say, studies have shown that it takes about 4 to 5 weeks to start repairing the brain damage that's you've inflicted on yourself in the hippocampus and other regions and areas of your brain. So I'm not going to go too much more into that because I'm not a doctor or a scientist, so you can look that up on your own and feel free to comment anything you want on any of these videos. If you have some helpful information, comment below. If you have some information on the contrary, comment below, but be tactful and be nice when you do it. And then anything else that you just find helpful in general, feel free to comment below. You know, I want other people to learn. Like, you might not have a YouTube channel. Maybe you don't know how to do this kind of stuff, but you do want to help. You want to help others. You know, I've always wanted to help others. My name, as it translates in the Greek, is healer. And I was struck by that when I was a kid. I grew up Christian, Pentecostal, like the speaking in tongues stuff. I don't do it anymore. I mean, I still pray, you know, I still feel like Jesus is my representative to the universe. So I pray to that particular person, right? But when I was a kid, I went to buy a Christian bookstore and it had my name on the books it had my name on on a bookmark, and the translation came out to healer. And so I'd always like wondered like, oh, am I going to heal people someday? To what capacity? And it's always been something that either by, you know, coincidence, I don't know if you know, what are names anyway, right? But that's always stuck with me, and I've always wanted to be a healer and help other people. And so now I kind of feel like I'm in a position to do so, right? So let's talk about some more milestones. We talked about the healing of the brain takes about 4 to 5 weeks. So the first week is pretty hard, right? We talk about that. I talk about that a lot. The first 3 days I think are the worst. That's when your brain starts, that's when your body starts to go through the withdrawal, right? And with the withdrawal, you know, when you drink, the next day you're still gonna have booze in your system. Then for like the next couple, like maybe 48 hours, you'll still have some alcohol in your system to a small degree. And, you know, if anybody has ever gotten a DUI and tried to escape out of it, you know, if you just can somehow wait till morning to blow, you know, or whatever, then, you know, your blood alcohol level is going to be an acceptable level. Or maybe even as little as like a couple hours later, maybe 2 hours, 4 hours later, you can go from blowing over to blowing under, right? Which, you know, I've, thank God, never had to deal with a DUI, but maybe you have. And if you have, maybe comment some of your experience below. But so the first week is arguably one of the most difficult times. And so I like to aid whenever I've attempted to get sober. Maybe you've done this too. I'd always talk about schedule, having a schedule laid out. Like, what are we gonna do in our spare time? Here are a list of things that we could do. You know, maybe not something like boring, like, I don't know, if you like building puzzles, sure, but like maybe don't put building puzzles on there because it's like building puzzles compared to like going to a kegger, not the same, right? But maybe if you feel like, well, I'm gonna do something to invest, like I'm gonna start figuring out how to put a business plan together, you know, something that's actually tactful, that's going to be important to you, something that's going to be meaningful to you, where you'll feel like at the end of the day, you're like, man, I feel really proud of myself that I had been thinking about putting a business plan together for 15 years. And today, because I chose to stop drinking alcohol, I got through the first 10 pages of a business plan for dummies book, right? Or whatever book you want to read. The dummies books though are pretty good, right? You got through 10 pages of it, and then that's like a little bit of momentum, even if it's just 5 pages. Well, tomorrow, maybe it's 6 pages, and then you just keep on building that momentum. And that's a really good, healthy thing to replace the time that you would have spent drinking. And then also too, we talk about having that transparency with your friends and your family members, making sure that you get, it's so important. Like I'm here, I'm in video form, I'm in Cleveland, Ohio. I can't literally be there with you, but there's somebody that you know, whether it be, might just be your mom. Might be your mom, might be your friend, might be an ex, I don't know, might be your best friend, might be somebody you talk to every now and then, might be somebody at the bar. Maybe you single out somebody at the bar, you're like, I know I drink a lot, but that person is a problem. And I bet that they want to quit. Even if it's just for a week. Recruit somebody to help sponsor you. You guys sponsor each other and plow through it. Keep each other honest, keep each other healthy. Because that first week, if you can get through that, I feel like you can get through anything, So let's go back. I'm going to give you a linear timeline. I know I go off in tangents. Hopefully you're learning something during my tangents. And thank you for your patience, because this all takes patience, doesn't it? The first week is when you're gonna have the most cravings and the most amount of withdrawal. It goes away. And then at about the end of the first week is when you're gonna start feeling better. You're gonna start feeling better, like physically and mentally. And then you're gonna get the thought, and what is the thought? I feel pretty good. Maybe I could have a drink, right? You know it, I know it, you know it, everybody knows it, God knows it, whoever your representative is to God knows it. Don't do that. Don't go drink. Don't waste, because to start back all over at a week, you give it up to go have a drink and it's like, you did that to yourself. You sabotage yourself, right? 10 days, things start to feel a little bit easier. But I will say after 3 days a week, 10 days, that's kind of like that honeymoon phase I keep talking about. The first 2 weeks is kind of like that honeymoon phase. If you start gaining that momentum, you're gonna feel maybe mentally like psyched, like super stoked to keep going. And then you might start to notice, I thought if I stopped drinking alcohol, like my IQ is gonna shoot through the roof and I'm gonna have so much energy. I'm gonna have all this energy. Like I'm gonna be a Super Saiyan, if you know what that means, Dragon Ball reference. But I think about that sometimes. I'm just gonna go full Super Saiyan. My hair is gonna turn blonde and there's gonna be energy coming, like lightning bolts coming off me, and the ground beneath me is gonna shatter because it's radiating. My pecs are gonna be crazy. But no, that doesn't happen. It's kind of like, I feel like I need a nap. And you're like, wait a minute, that's the opposite. Why did I quit drinking if I need a nap? But we're getting closer to total body healing. We're getting closer to it. And the biggest goal, I feel like one of the most important goals is the one that I told you about. The first one I already covered, which is the 2-month period for the cravings to stop. For the thought of drinking to stop being a problem. That is the biggest issue, in my opinion. We're in the first week, 10 days, 2 weeks, it was still a problem for me I was still having the FOMO. If my friends are drinking, it's like, well, everybody's drinking, everybody's watching the game or whatever. Anyway, all of that aside, I'm not drinking. And the cravings went away at about 2 months. Now, in between the 2 months and the 10 days period is the next big milestone, which is 21 days. So 21 days is when they say it takes 21 days to create a habit, right? So if it takes 21 days to create a habit, Well, it's not just removing the alcohol. It's not just simply taking it out of the refrigerator. It's not like we're not going to keep just going to the bar and then choosing not to drink. Like that's torture. Why would you do that? You know, it's like breaking up. It's like getting broken up with and then driving past that person's house on the way home every day. It's like, don't do that. Just go a different route. Literally go a different route. And the same thing applies with alcohol. Go a different route. If you're passing your favorite bar on the way home, go a different route. Just go a different route. Is it going to take you, like, how much? Is it going to take you 3 minutes out of the way? So what? Go a different route. Go a different way. So what? What are you going to do with that 3 minutes anyway? You're still saving time anyway, because you're not drinking. So you're netting a whole bunch of extra time. So 1 week, 10 days, 2 weeks, 21 days. And then to get for the cravings to stop go away, it's about 2 months. It could be a little sooner. I feel like realistically it was about, for me, I feel like it was about 6 weeks. So, and then like the brain healing is at about the month. So there are little milestones along this journey. And then 90 days, 3 months is about the period when you should be completely, totally free and clear. You get to 3 months, that's basically it. Now, again, I know results may vary. So please don't shoot in the comments and say, oh, well, I stayed sober for 2 months. I'm still having cravings. Like, well, results may vary. Like, I don't know what your life is like. I don't know what your work situation's like, what your work environment's like. I don't know what your home environment's like. You know, I don't know if you hate your relationship or hate your house, or if your neighborhood is, you know, every house around you is boarded up and desolate and there's potholes and stop signs in every corner. Like, there are definitely things about your environment that you might need to change, about your immediate environments, and then also too about the environment that you live in and your neighborhood. And you know, we want to be better. We want to be in a better place, physically, mentally, emotionally. We want to have a better balance, and we want to be able to make better decisions and healthier choices. All right. So make your goal. I believe that you should make your goal to get to the 3 month period. And I'm not going to say like, well, if you get to 3 months and it's still not working, then maybe this just isn't for you. You know, a lot of people in the world drink. And for a long time, for most of my adult life beyond 21 years old, 21 years of age, I did too, up until also very recently. I did too. And, you know, may I have a drink? Like, is it possible that I might have a drink again in the future? I don't know. I might, realistically, the only time that I think that I might have another drink at this point, and then what you might be wondering, you may have no idea what my journey's been, but like like right now I'm at 9 weeks, a little over 9 weeks of sobriety. And again, I'm not claiming to be a guru of any sort. I'm not like the alcohol savior. I'm just giving I'm trying to give some very helpful and tactful advice and some constructive criticism, constructive advice that'll help you out the way that it helped me. And also too, like it may be a lonely road. Everybody that I know drinks. Not everybody that I know though drinks heavily. And it might you might want to just ask some of your friends, like, hey, like, well, what's your relationship with alcohol like? I know some very productive people that drink a shitload every night. Have a wonderful house, wonderful family, money in the bank, and they drink every night. And then I know some people that have nothing, their car's about to break down, and they drink every night. They live with their parents, and they spend what little money they have left on alcohol. And everybody's journey is different, right? But your journey and my journey is we don't want to drink anymore. And hopefully I've answered that question for you and given you tons more information than you probably wanted to know. So I'm sorry, not sorry, but thank you for watching. And again, if you haven't, please subscribe and consider buying a mug to support the channel. Realistically, I get like $1 out of it, but you get a mug and they're pretty nice. So check it out and check out some other episodes. And if you have any suggestions for future episodes or have any questions that you want me to answer, feel free to comment. I try my best to respond to everybody's comments. Goodbye for now and good luck on your journey.